Okay, we have for you a view of Once Upon Time after this. Hello out there, I'm the oldest nerd, and once again we have a superior edition of Doctor Who, and we have pointed out over many reviews of Doctor Who episodes that they don't use very much the concept of time much. In Blink, originally, there was the first time in really the reboot series to really take time seriously as making time itself part of the plot. In this particular episode, they are on the planet Time, and they had last week, as you recall, some run-ins with the people on that planet, or rather the Watchers of Time that were sabotaged. And the Doctor goes in to try to fix this by taking the place of one of them, as Yaz and Vinder and Dan had already done. And this time hits it with a sonic screwdriver and propels each of the characters in their own time stream. Now, without going into any details about what happens in each of these time streams, except to say that we learned something about each of the characters in this show, except for Yaz. We already knew pretty much about Yaz. But in the case of Dan's past, in the face of Vinder's past, and also in the Doctor's past and future, we get a hint of that and a hint of where the story is going to go from here. Obviously, we have a lot to find out about the Timeless Child line, and while a lot of people don't like it, it's being taken very creatively here and shown it's more than just rewriting canon. It is a difficulty that the Doctor is going to have to get out of. We come across some surprises in this episode. I won't give that up either, but it will be a very welcome surprise to see. We also have an interest in that Vinder, who was, refresh your memory, was the character that was on the space station doing the observations. We find out how he got there. We find out that he knows what a TARDIS is, which is kind of interesting. It doesn't make a big deal of the plot. It's something that's said in passing, and I find that kind of interesting. So we are going to find out. These are little clues that they're throwing at us for how this is all going to end in 3 more episodes. So we know something more about the Flux as well. We know something about the Doctor a little more as well. We know that we have found not only the Sontaran, but the Daleks and the Cybermen who are trying to get in on the action before the universe goes away. They know it's happening, and despite the fact that they know that the universe is going to be almost nothing, they want to be able to say that they were the last one standing before it went down. They would end up fighting each other, it would seem. Didn't go that far. The Doctor was able to get themselves out of this mess for now, but it's a very temporary and not very laudable victory in this case. Once again, we have a situation to where the companions are put in different places, and while they all have their moment and they have a way of breaking their own characters, which is interesting, but we have the Doctor doing what the Doctor always does, which is to go on a completely separate journey and to try to find out what's going on and how to get it done. And there is some indication of what the Flux is and how it was started. We may know that the Swarm and his familiar were certainly part of the cause of it, but they weren't. They were facilitators, not the real thing that was behind it. And it'll be interesting for you to find out when you see this episode exactly what that is that does that. So we have a new character introduced by the name of Belle. She is obviously a superior species in that they have space travel. They know about time, know about the flux. They know all of the villains. And so Belle is with a Tamagotchi in hand on her way to try to find someone that she was separated from. And that kind of interweaves through the story as well. So we have a new character introduced that no doubt is going to have a major handle on how all of this ends. A couple of things to point out, though, that we have found out in our reading over the last week. We know that once that Chibnall's era is over, which will be this year, of course, that Russell T. Davies is going to take over as showrunner. We knew this already, but we did not know that, in fact, his production company, Bad Wolf, has bought the rights to Doctor Who. And beginning next season, the BBC will not have ownership of Doctor Who. The BBC will only have merchandising rights and, of course, broadcast rights. But the production will be done away from BBC studios, even the special studios in Wales that were built when they rebooted Doctor Who. There'll be a new Bad Wolf studio, which is going to have more production space than anything in Wales. So it is going to be able to do very high budget type of production without the interference of the BBC. This is going to put Doctor Who on a whole new standing from what it was before. Bad Wolf Production is going to be the owner, and we believe that RTD is a major shareholder in that organization. So with the exception of merchandising, which the BBC keeps, and rights to show it in the UK, we have a whole new Doctor Who that's going to be coming your way next year. And while it is a continuation of the same series, I think that we can expect a whole different way of producing that is going to provide more elaborate sets, more elaborate stories, more budget, more cinematic quality to it. We've seen some of that already, but this would be well beyond the BBC's capability of doing. And this is something that is very exciting coming up next year. So that's what we have this time around. Tune in for next week when we will see more of the Weeping Angels. The Weeping Angels will be prominent in the next episode. And since they were featured in the first episode of Flux, we're certain that they have a major part to play, and we'll see what that is. In the meantime, please subscribe and don't forget to ring the bell to know when the next video is coming your way. Leave something in the comments too for whatever you think is going to happen, or how you're enjoying the show so far, or what you think about these videos. We certainly always like to have your feedback. So until then, and until next time, don't go far.